Hey, SPC, Anna here with your Sunday school lesson again for the week. I hope everybody's had a good week and is doing well and enjoying this hot weather. It's still really hot, so I hope you're having some time to cool off and enjoy the weather. So our fall planning is still in process. We are still determining how that should look. If any parents would like to shoot me an email, shoot me a message about what they would prefer, we might have another few questions coming out to you guys to kind of see where everybody is, to try to determine the best way to plan something for our children in the fall. So stay tuned for more information on that. And then the Sunday school lesson this week is about David. So I know y'all know some things about David. We've talked about David before. One of the big stories in children's ministry is David defeating Goliath. So y'all may have heard that story. So David was a small little boy, and Goliath was a huge soldier from the other side. And nobody could defeat him, and everybody was scared of him. And David, if you remember, defeated him with a slingshot. So that was a big story when David was a boy. So this story takes place a little bit after that. Okay, so some of you may know that David was also a king of Israel. So this story is taking place right before David's becoming king. So I'm going to read you the story out of the lesson plan we've got here. So listen close. King Saul, who we've talked about before in some other lessons. King Saul and his son Jonathan had died in a battle. Now the people of Israel did not have a king. The leaders of Israel came to David because they wanted him to become their king. God has called you to be our king, the leader said. You will look after our people just as a shepherd looks after the sheep. You will be our king. David remembered the day his father Jesse had called him from the fields. He recalled how the prophet Samuel, had poured oil over his head and told him that one day he would be king. David knew that becoming king of Israel was the right thing to do, and so David said yes. David was crowned king of Israel before all the people at Hebron. One day, not long after David became king, he prayed to God. He thought about his life and everything that had happened. David remembered the day he fought the giant Goliath. He knew that God had protected him. He thought about his friendship with Jonathan. His friend helped him escape from King Saul. He recalled the days he had spent running from King Saul. God looked after him every step of the way. All those years of waiting, David exclaimed, God helped me every step of the way. Now I am ready to be king. David gave thanks to God for everything that God had done. He promised to serve God. Then he praised God's greatness. I will praise you, God. There is no one like you. You have given us a land where we can live in peace. You love us. You are most powerful, and I can trust you. David reigned over the people of God for many years. He was a strong and wise king who loved God. So that's all from the book of 2 Samuel in the Bible. So another interesting thing, the end of the passage there, David was praising and thanking God for everything he'd done for him. David did that a lot. He actually wrote the book of Psalms. So if you remember last week, we did a psalm, and that's something David had written. So he wrote lots of psalms, thanking God, praising God, calling on God's help. So he was very close with God and interacted with God the whole time he was king and before. So he had a very close relationship with God, which I think is why God felt him capable to rule over Israel. So some things to think about this week. We've kind of done them in a little bit of other lessons too, but maybe think about why God picked David to be king. What was it that makes a good leader? I would say one of them definitely is he relied on God, he trusted God, and he had faith in God. I think that was a big piece of it, but I'm sure there were other things in there. So kind of ponder again on what you think makes a good leader and what can make you a good leader, and what you could ask God to help you do for others, how to serve others. So we have a activity that came with the lesson today. I'm going to hold it up for you guys. Looks kind of like this. And I know we've done these in the classroom before. So this is a look and find. So it's a picture of David being crowned king. What it wants you to look for is there's about, I think, 7 extra crowns in that picture other than the one they're placing on David's head. So that's a fun looking find for you to look at. Okay, I've got a prayer here I want to close with. Everybody bow their heads with me. God, thank you for your love. Thank you for listening to our prayers. Show us how to be leaders, loving and serving others. Amen. So thanks everybody for tuning in this week. Hope y'all are doing well. Enjoy the story of David. It's a wonderful story. Again, if you got questions or thoughts about how you want fall to look, please shoot me a message or give me a call. Let me know what you're thinking, and I hope to touch base with you guys soon. Miss y'all. Bye.